I estimated for about £300 in fuel. I spent, sorry I still find this funny, I spent £539.38 on fuel. Hi everyone, it's Luke here and welcome back to another video. It's bright and early this morning and I'm heading over to Salisbury, Wilton House, here in the UK. Now, this event is very, I don't know, well, it was literally the first event that I ever went to back in 2012, so it's going to be kind of cool to take that. But it's the first kind of breakfast meet of the year. They don't, unfortunately, do the main supercar weekend anymore. So I thought I'd go over there. I don't actually know what's going on. I just know that there's a breakfast meet going on, so we'll hopefully have a look at some cool cars and then we shall address what is in the title, the costs of my recent Euro tour. So, cold start is pretty much finished on that. In fact, it's just finished. So let's hit the road and head over to Wilton House. So like I was mentioning, yeah, Wilton was the first ever car show I went to back in 2012, back when I started this YouTube. So if you scroll right down to the first videos uploaded, then you'll find some stuff from Wilton, albeit it was the main supercar show, which unfortunately they don't do anymore. Still, it's always cool to come back here. We're just arriving at Wilton now, actually. So, out here. Oh my word, there's a lot of people. Okay, so yeah, today is kind of just a random breakfast meet, really. I don't really have any idea about what's going on here, but it looks pretty busy, and I'm sure there's some cool cars here, so we'll get inside and see what it's all about. Flipping loads of cars here. So we're now in the overflow car park, because I got picked out the other one. We've got a 570 there. Couple of M3s, RS7, and I need a space. Crikey, it's really busy actually. E-Type, GT8, that's very nice. What's quite funny as well, you won't be able to see it at the moment, is we have a member from the tour joining us. So I'm going to chuck it in here, which I will show you in a minute. We got the Fields brothers. We've got both cars here this time, so I'll just chuck it here. Say hello to them and then head on into the show.
There's a sparkle in your eyes. I feel the warmth of your skin. Just the touch of your hand makes me tremble within.
How cool is this? Golf R Estate Mark 7.5, like mine obviously, but the Estate. I find these things so cool. It's just the fact that it's a wagon. And actually, funnily enough, grey was my second choice, I suppose you could say, for a car. Obviously I was not accepting anything other than lapis blue, but if things didn't go to plan, then grey was my kind of backup, and it does look really cool. And you don't see them in the Estate form that much, so it's always a pleasure to see one, especially in a spec like this. Now, some of you may already know this, but I have an extreme soft spot for the Gen 1 at GT3, and this spec is certainly no exception. I can't tell if it's brown or grey though. Either way, a very subtle spec, but the thing I want to touch on is these wheels. They're like a very faint gold, bronzy kind of thing, and it looks awesome. There's only one thing that I'd change, and that is the yellow calipers. I just think that gold on yellow doesn't look the best. Maybe like maybe even red or maybe black. Although I do know that Porsche kind of only do yellow calipers if it's the carbon ceramics, which obviously this one is. But I just think with gold wheels, I'd probably repaint those. But yeah, there's an extreme want for one of these one day. I just want to experience that 9k RPM, stick an exhaust on it, and it's just heaven. And this spec it's nice. I like it. Loving the spec of this 600 LT. Well, apart from the wheels could be better. You need to get the upgrade ones for it to be perfect. But the thing I wanted to show you on this particular car is, well, all of the carbon. Now, if you cast your mind back to the 600 LT collection day video I did with Zen Car Driver, the first car I actually saw, the first customer car anyway, that had carbon pack 1 and 2, and that pretty much included the side little bits there and the mirrors, and then carbon pack 2, if I remember rightly, was the rear bumper and the front splitter. However, this one has 1, 2 and 3, so you've got all around the engine lid up there, and then of course all the other bits and bobs on the side, the front, the side skirts, and also all down the back. That whole rear panel is carbon. It looks absolutely incredible. Oh. Right, we are back in the car. Time to address the title and thumbnail of this video. How much did my road trip cost? I kind of thought that, well actually, so the context of this video, right? I wanted to do this video today, and I found out that there was something going on at Wilton, so I thought, I know, let's go to Wilton, have a look at some of the cars, and then address the cost. So that's what I've done. Very short little whistle-stop tour of the show, and to be fair, most of the stuff has left because I arrived late, so that was a bit of a fail, but you get a rough idea about that. But you're not here for that, you're here for this. So, the cost of the trip. So, what I'm going to do for this is, basically, how do I explain this? I'm going to kind of go through and highlight the main points, i.e. fuel, tolls, accommodation, food, and that should hopefully give you an idea. So, the upfront cost for me, myself, bearing in mind that's once split with Chloe, my passenger, who's not here at the moment, is £1,200.69 for me. That's how much it cost me. So I'm going to go through and kind of give you a rundown of each individual cost, and then once split with Chloe, because obviously she was my passenger, so we basically split the costs in half. So fuel, this is the funny bit. Fuel. So when I was planning this trip, I kind of did some rough estimations. I say, okay, we're doing 2,700 miles, divide that by blah, means I'll do this many tanks and it'll cost me this much. I estimated for about £300 in fuel. I spent, sorry, I still find this funny, I spent £539.38 on fuel. You can't blame me, right? We did some good roads, so obviously that is like the upfront price, and that is £269.69 when split with Chloe. So £270 per person for fuel. So that was quite funny. Okay, EU driving essentials. Now, the time where we went on this tour, i.e. right when Brexit, when hit the fan, if you know what I mean, we had to do so many other precautions, international driver's permit, green card, various stickers and taxes, and it was a right nightmare. Right to the point when it was like, is it actually worth doing this tour? Like, it's going to be so hard. Like, are we going to be illegal by doing this? Are we going to get into the country? Are there going to be some sort of strike? So I ended up paying £90 and 71 pence on essentials, which would mean that I would be legal in the EU, if that makes sense. So when split, 45 quid. Which still is a lot. I think the green card cost me 30 quid. I think the international driver's permit was like £11, and then you got to make sure you got triangle and you got to breathalyzers and everything. So yeah, that was all very complicated. Now the next one is accommodation. Now for what we did, 10 days on the road, I thought that this price was pretty good. £500 per person for all the accommodation. Now, for those of you wanting to do a road trip, I did this through Airbnb, and it was so cheap. So you guys may remember the plush villa that we stayed in Monaco for 5 days. You probably thought that must have cost you thousands. Now yes, it did cost, as a whole price for 10 people, it cost a couple of thousand. But when you split that down, into 10 people, you're not going to believe this, right? £300 per person for 5 nights in a villa overlooking Monaco. That is amazing. And in previous years that I've been to Monaco, I've been paying like £450 per person just to stay in a self-accommodation, yeah, like a little flat thing in a hotel. So that's pretty reasonable. So yeah, £500 per person for accommodation for the whole thing. Bearing in mind, 300 of that was for Monaco, and you can kind of work out because they were only. That sounded good. You probably wouldn't hear that. It was awkward. Yeah, so we're only staying in the other places for like 1 night, so it was only like 30 quid per person. Tolls. So we have the what's it called? Like a toll tag thing, which I put. That was another thing which cost money. So the actual tolls, because we did 2,700 miles in total on the trip. Vast amount of that was on toll roads in Europe. So we spent £218.32 on tolls. Obviously I could split that with Chloe, so that was £109.16 per person. Again, quite reasonable, seeing the amount of mileage we did. Eurotunnel, £160 as a overall price, so that was £80 when split with Chloe. And that is literally overall for the journey out and the journey back. Again, quite reasonable. Actually, kind of expensive, but something you got to do when doing a road trip. Food, we're getting less and less exciting as this goes along, aren't we? £210.41, £105 when split. Again, an essential, and we had a lot of junk food because obviously we spent the vast majority of the time in this car, and it was filled with snacks. And I was very happy about that. So yeah, we nibbled through £210 worth of food. That also includes like meals and literally everything. Any meal of the day. So yeah, £105 per person for that. And other, so like a miscellaneous kind of section, I thought, why not, let's just smash that in there. £182.58. Obviously I could split that with Chloe again, which equated to £91.29. And this was literally anything, like access into museums, like the Ferrari Museum, I think was 30 euros, something like that. There's a small charge to get into every one of these kind of museums and things, and that was kind of what that was. So that is the vague cost. So you add all that up and it adds up to 1,200. Quite reasonable, I think. I mean, for 10 days on the road, 1,200 per person is not too bad when you think fuel, accommodation, and we're going to some pretty nice places. Like staying in Monaco is not cheap. However, it was for me, which is, I don't know how that's happened, but we got a good deal. So yeah, kind of if you're going to get something from this, if you're planning a road trip, then make sure you get a passenger, because otherwise you get very lonely, and also you can split the costs. So if I didn't split the costs here, it would be like 2,000, over 2,000 probably. I imagine so anyway. So yeah, there we go. The cost of my road trip, that is how much it cost me to do that. And trust me, I am already in the light planning stages of doing it again next year, because it was so much fun. And actually, casting my mind back to the beginning of this video when I arrived, James, the 320D, is parked next to me with his brother Matt in his 4 Series as well. So that's very cool. It's like we've got a little road trip going on here after the main road trip. Anyway, I'm rambling on. This has been quite a long little section, but I know that a lot of you guys wanted to hear about how much it cost me to do a road trip, because I know a lot of people have messaged me saying that I'm planning to do it. Can you just give me an idea about how much it's going to cost? Obviously it varies with where you go, how long you do it, the car, anything like that, but it was hands down the best thing I've ever done. It was well worth the months and months of planning. But anyway, that is probably going to round up today's video. Quite a simple one, straightforward. Good morning here at Wilton. Had a little quick run through with some of the cars in there, some cool stuff. And then we just done that. So I'm going to head off home, have a Sunday lunch, and enjoy the rest of the afternoon. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have, please do make sure you leave a like and make sure you subscribe for all the adventures still to come.